3 is a motion to approve June 2019 payroll. Any questions? Okay, item 24 is a motion to approve PCMG Inc. low quote for support renewal for IT switches for an amount not to exceed $5,044, funded through General Fund IT Contractual Services. Neil?
Thank you, Chair. The council, this is the network equipment. We do the maintenance for those equipment that it covers the software upgrade and hardware if it's a failure. And we do every year. This year's a little bit increased because last year we purchased 2 switches. So the increase delivery maintenance to about $300-400.
Okay. And these are compatible with the new stuff? Okay, is there any other discussion? Okay, item 25 is a motion to approve ERSI Inc. sole source to provide 1-year maintenance service for GIS system for an amount not to exceed $26,800, funded through water and sewer IT equipment account.
Chair, the council, this is the GIS system that we have. We've been purchasing since 2003, and then every year we pay the maintenance for that software for renewal and upgrade. This one also increased due to the last year we end up purchasing a system called Geo Event Server that helps us on projects to anything like network, like GPS systems, to add it into all the new projects that we're going to work on, and also will help us on the new ERP system that is more GIS based, make a connection to it. So this year increased from I think 18,000 to 26,000 for maintenance.
Okay. Is there any discussion on that? All right. Item 26 is a motion to approve GFL Environmental USA Inc. bid for solid waste, compost, recycling, and commercial dumpster services funds provided from Compost Expenditure. Mr. Bach.
Any questions?
Can I ask a question about the recycling?
Excuse me?
Can I ask a question about the recycling? Sure. Are we going to continue with recycling, or because of the market we have to pay for it now, correct? The recycling? Because it's not being used as...
From what I understand, and I have Sam here from GFL, that the market for recycling, there is none. They used to receive funds, and there was they made money at some point, but currently they have to pay for the recycling. Is that correct, Sam?
That is true. Hello, everyone. Recycling, yes, there was once a market that would pay back, depending upon the contract, would pay back the vendor, say it was $30 to $35 for every ton that we delivered to the recycle plants. After processing, there'd be a rebate of $30 to $35 per ton. The current market has that shape, and we pay upwards of $90 a ton with no rebate. So it is upside down. There really is no clear indication of where it's going in the near future. There's no crystal ball for that. It's a difficult situation right now with recycling. It may turn over and come back. Like anything, it probably will. Just that's where it's at today.
Through the chair, the question was that what is being presented to you is current status quo, is what we get now. There is no change. Recycling, bulk pickup, curbside compost, and solid waste. That is what is presented to the council for approval. It's basically the bid that we put out. It would be up to this council if they wanted to remove one item or another. I did get a price if we did remove the compost. I didn't get the feel from this council or the mayor that they wanted to remove any of the, not compost, the recycling. But it is up to you if you want to do it. I wouldn't suggest it. One of the reasons why at this point I wouldn't suggest it, maybe in the future, if the next contract might, because it took years to get people to recycle. It did. It took a long time. If we remove it, you may never get to go back to recycle again if the market changes. Just because it was such a long education process and timely, and I'm sure that, I mean, through the time, the contractor seeing how small the recycling was when it first started to where they're at now, there's a lot of people, almost everybody recycles got a container out there.
So my question is about the recycling. So if it gets to a point where, because we're hearing, and I'm hearing from residents and other people that to a certain point, the recycling is dumped into the regular trash because they don't take it over to the recycling area. I mean, is it?
No, all the recycling is taken to a recycling center. Now, what they do with it, I'm not sure. Maybe you know what they do with all of it, Sam. I know there's a market for some and they store some.
Yes, there is, recycling is still collected separately from the trash. It's collected in a separate truck. Recycling is still taken to a MRF. MRF is a material recovery facility where it's dumped, sorted as best we can. There's a lot of contamination. What I mean by contamination is there's garbage and 2x4s and tennis shoes and hoses, but there's still a lot of cardboard out there, a lot of good plastics out there that we're trying to grab as much as we can. It's not contaminated, but it's still being collected separately, still being taken to a MRF.
And they are being dumped into separate vehicles.
Separate vehicles.
So one red truck or what truck coming down and dumping the trash, and then they come back, they're not dumping it into the trash.
It's going in separate
It's not-
vehicles.
okay, it is separate.
We run dedicated recycle trucks, we run dedicated trash trucks. About 4 or 5 trash trucks a day, 3 recycle trucks a day, and a couple of yard waste trucks a day, and then you have trucks that go and collect your bulky materials, your furniture and whatnot. So you've got.
I'm glad that you are doing that for us. I appreciate that. The trucks themselves, are they recognizable? If I'm as a resident, just, at my house and I see a truck coming down, I can tell that it's a recyclable truck or if it's a garbage truck?
They are the same. They are the same trucks. The
So
trucks.
they look the same?
The
There's
trucks
nothing
that collect the
says-
carts. There's nothing that really distinguishes
Okay.
them as being different from one another.
Okay.
The same
Yeah,
equipment.
they're still collected the same way, but they're just sort, the other one goes to a facility where they dump all that stuff and then they sort it on a line and all that.
It gets
Yeah.
dumped at a separate location,
Right.
sorted. Your trash goes to Riverview landfill, separate location as well.
That's why they don't pick up. I mean, we get a lot of calls once in a while. They didn't pick this up. They just hadn't come back yet. They pick the solid waste up, then they fill that truck up. Then they come back around and pick up the second
Well,
container.
that's what I'm saying. It's the same truck, but it's not dumped all together.
No,
recycled.
if they seen them dump all the containers at the same time,
Right.
then we'd have an issue. But
Okay.
that isn't the
That
issue.
was my question. We are using the same truck, but it's empty first, then they come back
Yes.
and recycle. Okay.
And they're still valuable, like you said, certain plastics, certain like that. And what you'll do business-wise, you guys will probably store some of that to wait to see if the market increases. And then, it's raw material, so.
Yes.
But it is all a commodity, so it is low, but it has a chance of coming back. Now, in your expertise, how long have you seen the market go like this before? And, how long of a time frame has the longest you've seen it stay well below,
I can say that I don't recall seeing it this bad in the history of modern day recycling. There was a time it wasn't as profitable as it is or was. This is the worst I've seen it. A lot of this probably has to do with China not taking that material, or what they are taking, they expect a very, very high threshold of non-contamination. So that contributes to the problem a little bit. What used to maybe be acceptable as mixed product is no longer. That's a big piece of the issue right now.
Do we know what the total cost for the next 3 years, what will the total cost added to the next 3 years, what the total increase cost is?
Ron,
I can tell you
what dollar amount we're actually approving.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That will come back in the contract itself, though, correct?
Yeah, we can put that in the contract, because this is, I mean, I can sit here and figure out what the residential curbside is, but then there's another story on the commercial dumpster pickup. That one's gonna be a little bit more complicated, because sometimes you get charged as you need a container. I can look at the history and what we've been paid in the past and how many pickups we've had, but this is something that our last contract didn't have. We have our commercial dumpsters in this contract, and we have residential curbside pickup. We had a separate contractor doing the commercial pickups. So now we combined it with this contract to have the same vendor do both of them.
It'd still be nice to know what the total cost is going to cost us, because my next question is going to be, is how are we gonna fund it?
I can tell you right now, this year has been funded in the budget. It was approved in the budget, and it was based on, when I did the budget, I based it on $12 per stop per month at 19,200. It's below that, it's $10.95 per stop per month, 19,200. So this year is funded. I can tell you that right now in the budget. When we bring back the contract, unless I give you some numbers tomorrow before the council meeting, and we can insert it, because that's going to take a little bit of work to figure out the commercial side of it, the dumpster side of it. I can give you the residential side of the problem.
So,
Because we can get an average. I mean, the average over the course of 3 years is $11.28 per stop per month.
I'd just like to know that big old number at the end, and how we're gonna pay for it, and are we looking at anything that we're going to have to add to a mill or anything to pay for this? Because if we're going to extend every 3 years, if we were looking at that, let's say, then let's say for the next 3 years it costs us $1 million. What's the next 3 years gonna cost us? Another $1 million. Is the next 3 years gonna cost us another $1 million? And before you know it, I'll be out there getting me a company to pick up trash.
Well, maybe Jason can help me answer this question. As far as after this year being funded, are we collecting, from what I understand, we're not, collecting enough revenue through 179 to cover the cost at the bid rates for years 2 and 3?
Through the chair, just to give a little bit of a foresight, or we don't have a forecasted budget. We only budget the upcoming year. That hopefully is going to change over the next year or two with a new ERP system that we can do multi-year forecasting. But if I remember correctly, with the increase we have already in there, and also the increase to the Act 179 levy, I think we're probably really at, a status quo in regards to revenue sources and expenditures in that fund. So if the expenditures are going up and the revenue sources are the same, then that could result in a millage increase, or there has to be other alternatives, like more revenue sources from the compost, or such, and more revenue sources now. But if it status quo, then the expenses increase. It's going to have to be offset by the millage, which is the Act 179 millage, is the offset. Or eliminate.
Yeah.
Or cost savings, yes.
so that would be pretty much something we need to look at going into the next budget year, not this one we're going into, but the following one.
But that is correct. The budget for 1920 has already been approved, and it does include the increase, but again, the increase for 2021, we don't have a budget for that year yet, so we don't know what the impact is. We can estimate it, but we just don't know what it is.